Good to know. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and come on down and grab your block of balls. We're going to start with this green ball. And I want to do just a quick opener for the chest. So you're going to have your block on, let's do it on the middle height. Okay. So it's going to be middle height. Ball's going to go on the edge closest to you. Now I'm going to lie down on my side. So I'm going to start on my left side. And I want you to think about like where your shoulder is, and then kind of this webbing of the armpit here that comes across the front. And that's kind of where the ball is going to go. It's going to kind of go right where this armpit webbing is, and it's going to dive behind the front of the arm bone. So it's like if you've got your shoulder, the front of the arm bone here, you're kind of diving inside there. And you should be able to find something where you can move the breast tissue over to the side so that you don't have that being compressed, and there's enough block in front of you that it's kind of out of your way. Now, if you are not comfortable kind of in this side position, you can lay all the way down on your belly. But I just want to make sure that you've got your arms kind of free here and that there's a little bit of compression right in the front of the chest. So this just is going to help us to open up the front of the chest and let the shoulders sit on the back a little bit easier. Now, if this feels good and you want to sit here and relax and take some deep breaths, you can. If you want to start maybe putting a little bit of movement into that left arm, you can challenge that pressure by lifting and lowering the arm. Now, again, we're looking for, maybe like a 60 to 70% of your threshold here. So don't go lifting the arm if it's way too intense. I want you to breathe through this. Maybe if you've got the arm lifting and lowering, you take one more lift and lower, and then we're just going to stay and breathe for maybe 2 or 3 breaths. And one more. Okay, go ahead and press up. If you want to make any movements with the arms just to see difference from side to side. I always like to just check in, and then we're going to switch it to the right. So again, I've got that block on the middle height, ball right at the edge closest to me. I'm going to place that ball kind of right in the front of the webbing of that armpit. So the ball's going to dive just inside that arm bone. And there should be a feeling of hitting muscle, right? I'm not just hitting my bones or my ribs, I'm hitting some of this pectoral muscle here that connects up into my arm bone and back down into my sternum. So it's going to be different from left to right. So if you've got more sensitivity on one side versus the other, that's normal. And if you want to try to challenge this right side with lifting and lowering the arm, go for it. If it's too much, then just leave it on the floor. And maybe there's this ability to lift and hover the arm and back down. And if you can support your head with your hands, maybe you make a couple of fists and just rest your forehead on your hands. That's always nice too. So if you're lifting and lowering, maybe you just get 1 or 2 more. Good, and then just relax there, take a few breaths. And maybe just 1 more nice full inhale and exhale here. I lied, take 1 more, take 1 more. Okay, go ahead and press up. Here we're going to still use this same ball, but we're going to do a quick one for the inner quadricep here. So I want you to think of, if you kind of look at your knee on this right leg, you can kind of see this more pronounced muscle that sits just to the inside of the knee and runs up the inner thigh, kind of close to the seam of your pants. That's where we're gonna go. So you're gonna take your block, you can keep it on this middle height, but I'm gonna have it point the same direction as my knee. So I'm gonna have my knee pretty hugged in, so I'm on my right leg. I'm gonna bring it in pretty close, and now I've got like a runway here for the block and the ball. I'm gonna come all the way down just so I have a little more control. So once I have that leg kind of parallel to the block, I'm gonna set the ball. Okay, go. I'm gonna set the ball right on the inner seam of the pants, and then I'm gonna rest the leg and the ball on the block. So I've got to kind of sandwich in between. Now you can just keep the ball right there if that's already a tender spot, or you can kind of saw the legs forward and backward by rotating the hip forward and then stacking the hips back parallel. Can you kind of feel how you got this runway right in front of the leg where you're going to take the knee forward and the ball is going to go towards your groin, and then as you lean back, the ball is going to go back down towards your knee. So I want you to think of kind of ironing out this inner thigh muscle and hitting a little bit of this more medial quadricep here. Now, if there's a spot somewhere in there that talks to you that you just want to like sit with and breathe for a moment, you can just sit there. So I've got the block probably, or the ball probably about a third of the way up my thigh. And then from here, I'm just gonna maybe make some leg movements where I'm gonna start to straighten and bend. But if that's too much, just stay with the bent leg. You can just rest it there as well. Now again, the important part here is really be able to breathe. So I wanna make sure that you can take nice deep breaths with this ball being in this position. And if it's hard for you to take full breaths, it's probably because you pushed yourself a little past your edge. Last one. Good, and then I just want to make one more spot. So let's take that ball from maybe that bottom third and roll it so it's kind of more in the center of the thigh, right? So just kind of feel like it's right up in the middle, right in the belly of the muscle. You can rest there again. And if you're not feeling anything, then move it forward back just till you find some contact here, because these muscles you can kind of slip to the side easily if you've kind of got positioning a little bit off. So try to find something that gives you some feedback. And you won't have quite the ability to make the same range of motion here, and you can try doing a little tilting forward and back if you want to move the ball up and down. Or you can just stay there and just let the leg be heavy. Or we can try for those extensions again of the leg. So you can bend and straighten if you want. So here we're just getting a little bit of that inner thigh. Just maybe one or two more. Good. Just let it rest. Nice. Come on up. Same side, same right leg. And now we're going on that outer quad. So if you're thinking of your leg kind of like a box, right? We've got the inner corner that we just did, and now we're going to do the outer corner. So now I'm on the outside of that knee, and I'm just going to be maybe like 4 fingers below the knee, and I'm just going to have it go on the floor. So I feel like I'm kind of pressing the quad and the ball together, sandwiching it between the leg and the floor. So if that's my knee edge here, you can see I'm only maybe like a third of the way up the leg. Now you should feel like you're hitting a little bit of that outer quad and maybe even a little bit of that IT band, right? People talk about the IT band that connects with the outer edge of the knee being tight, so this is kind of going to hit that spot. Now you can stay right here and just put a little pressure, or you can start to bend and straighten. Take one more big breath here. And then we're going to move it up. So it's going to stay on that same line, kind of traveling on that outer corner or edge of the box. And then we're going to now be probably about the middle of the thigh. And again, I'm going to press down again. You can do the bending and straightening if it feels productive. Okay, I got one more. We're just rolling it up. We're kind of staying below the outer hip bone here. So when you kind of feel that greater trochanter, the outer leg bone that kind of goes into the hip, we're staying below that. So you're still on the quad, you're still on the meaty muscle of the thigh. And now I'm getting a lot closer to the hip. I'm just going to press that down as well. Again, you can always do the bend and straighten if that feels good. All right, now just take that ball, and now we're kind of going to go right in the bullseye of your butt cheek. Okay, so way to think of your glute, kind of finding a big, you could think of it as a big circle here on one cheek. We're kind of going to hit it right in the center. Now you're going to sit on it, and you can decide how much pressure you want to put into it by how much you lean your weight over into it. You can just stay here and breathe, or you can press down into your feet, and maybe you want to make little circles around that bullseye there. If that feels good. And if you're doing little circles, maybe you go the other way. Good. All right. Let's take it over to the left. So now we're gonna go back to that inner thigh. We've got that block on the middle height. We're gonna start with that ball on the inner portion of the knee, and I'm just a little bit below the knee here. I'm gonna rest that thigh kind of on the ball right around the inner seam of my pants. So I'm gonna come all the way down. Now, I should have enough room in front of me to be able to move that ball a few inches. So if you need to readjust once you start moving, you're gonna just tilt your hips forward towards the floor, and that ball will move up the thigh. And then you lean back and the ball should go towards the knee. Right? So I'm just rotating forward and back to move that ball. And once you find a spot in there that's kind of a little more feedback from the rest, maybe you just want to sit there with that. Maybe you want to move the leg, straightening and bending here. Now we're just putting a lot of slack on all of these muscles. Okay, so we're kind of taking that whole myofascial system that wraps around all the muscles, and we're going to give it a little bit of hydration and give it a little bit more buoyancy and slack so that it can actually let the muscles beneath kind of move with a little bit more range of motion, a little less restriction. All right, last one here. Now we're going to move to a second spot that's going to be just about the middle of the thigh, okay? So if you need to move your block a little bit, I want to get right around the center of that inner thigh. I'm just going to rest right there. You can try doing a little bit of rolling. There's just not quite as much room to go. And then again, if you want to bend and straighten the knee. But this shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't be probably something you could lay in and fall asleep in and be, pleasant all day, but it's definitely shouldn't be something that you're holding your breath against. Okay, just maybe get one or two more breaths here. Okay, come on up. We're gonna go right into the left side. So now you're kind of in this mermaid seat again, and I've got the ball on the outer seam of the pants now, thinking about traveling down this outer quad, and I want to be just below my knee, so maybe like 4 fingers below the knee. I should be able to target some of the smaller portion of that tendon coming down from the quad, and maybe a little bit of that IT band. And you can put pressure there. You can just stay here, take some breaths, or you can start to straighten and bend that left leg. And if this stuff feels good and you want to come back and visit this, you know, you can do this later and just sit and take some deep breaths if there's something that we moved fast through. Okay, we've got 2 more spots to hit. So we're gonna roll it up the thighs. Now I'm kind of in the middle of that quad from knee to hip middle, but on the outer portion here. And again, you can just hold it. You can just stay here and put some pressure there. You could do some lengthening and straightening and bending the knee. Okay, last one, making it up towards that hip. Now again, if you can think of where that bone kind of is real prominent, sticking out to the side, that's that greater trochanterolizumab bone. So I want you to be just below that. Okay, we're just below the femur, little outcropping there, and you're just gonna press down again. Or maybe you wanna do a little bit of this bend and straighten. Good, last one. All right, let's get that last side, that glute. So we're right kind of in that center bullseye. You should be able to kind of sit on it and maybe even lean to the left if you want more pressure. Or maybe you press down into your hands and feet, lift your hips, and make circles on that ball. And I'm just kind of circling that center of the glute. It can be tender. We got the piriformis in here. We've got the sciatic nerve that runs right through here. So if you feel a lot of nerve pain, then maybe you're on something that you want to try to move off to the side of. Because the nerves don't really like this kind of compression. So if you feel zinging or tingling or things that feel kind of nervy, let's move the ball to another spot, just off a little to the left and right. If you're circling, maybe reverse. All right, so go ahead and set that stuff off to the side for now. Let's go ahead and just lie down on your back. We're gonna come in and do some abs here. Take your arms up overhead, get a nice big stretch, take the legs out nice and long. Point the toes, just reach as long as you can here. And then we're gonna bring the arms down by your side, keep that left leg on the floor, and can you take that right leg up to the ceiling? Now, I want you to try to press the waistband of your pants down into the ground. If you've got things around you, you might have to move. I just realized I'm a little too close to the wall. Okay, so waistband presses down. That left heel is gonna press down to try to stabilize you. And now you've got your arms here to also help out. We're gonna make some circles with that right leg. You're gonna drop it, make a circle out wide, and back up to the top. Now, if you get a lot of clicking in your hip, then you can try adjusting your pelvis or maybe not making the circles quite so big. But what I want you to really focus on here is, can I keep my center drawn in and supportive so that I don't feel like I'm rocking from side to side as I make the circle with my leg. So really think of that waistband trying to get to the floor, the anchoring down through the left heel, and then we got that zipping in of the core like we're trying to put on some tight coats or tight pants. Let's go for 3 more in this direction. Here's 3, 2, 1. We're gonna reverse. Okay, take it wide, down, up, wide, down, and up. Again, your circle can be smaller. Your pelvic tilt can kind of change where that leg bone sits in the hip joint. So if you're feeling a lot of clicking, you can kind of change your position of the pelvis. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that right leg up. Grab the back of the thigh with the hands and peel your head and shoulders up. Okay, from here, we're just gonna hover this left leg. Hands come behind the head. And then from here, we're just gonna squeeze the legs across the center line and back into their own line. Squeeze them across, get those shoulders up. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the squeeze, take that left arm across that right thigh, reaching over to the right, little pulses up of the upper body. Here's 10, 9, squeezing the legs across the center line, 7, 6, try to get those shoulder blades off the floor, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Come back through center. Give your legs a little hug. Here we go on the other side. So right leg's gonna lengthen out. Press the heel down. Straighten the left leg up to the ceiling the best that you can. If it has to stay a little soft because your hamstring's a little tight, you can always bend the knee. All right, here we go. We're gonna drop it down, circle it out, and up. So if this feels really easy, then you might not be quite as engaged through the core. It should be a lot of challenge through the core. You can always take your hands up or even closer to the body to make it a little more difficult. But if you're really working to keep the body still, this should be quite a challenge. Let's go for 5. Really think this low belly firing up as well. 4, keep pushing into the right heel. 3, 2, last one, other direction. Out, down, up, out, down, and up. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that left leg up. Grab it with the hands. Peel the head and shoulders up. Get those shoulder blades off the floor and just cover that right leg. All right, hands come behind the head. Just the legs squeeze across the center line. So right leg goes to the left leg goes to the right. Here's 9. Keep your waistband on the floor. 8. Press your belly button down towards your spine. 7. Curl those shoulders up over those bottom ribs. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the squeeze, right arm over to the left, little lifts, up, up. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Come back to center, give your knees a little hug. A little rock back and forth on that low back there. All right, we're gonna roll all the way up now. So we're gonna take the legs out, we'll do some full body roll-ups. Arms are gonna inhale overhead, find that length and that stretch again. And then as you exhale, arms go to the ceiling, head and shoulders peel up, reach all the way up, and we're gonna round the back and reach towards the toes. Inhale up and exhale all the way back. Arms reach up and over. Exhale. Try to use as little momentum as possible, rounding the back and reaching towards the toes. And then we'll stack the spine and scoop and roll back. Good. Let's go for 3 more. Here's 3. 2. Last one. Good. Now we're going to sit up tall. You're going to keep the legs where they are. You're going to softly bend. But I want you to tuck your tail underneath you. And then I want you to get this little tuck of the low belly. It's the tail going underneath you. It's that pubic bone hugging up to your belly button. It's really small. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead. But I want you to feel like you're snapping your belly button back towards your spine and just expanding around the waistband here. Right? It's not very big, but I want you to feel these low belly muscles, the ones right between the hip bones, turning on every time. Good, let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So grab your ball, if you've got one of these balls. If you don't have a ball, you can still do this without the ball. The ball is just a nice little feedback for the low back. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna round the back. Now you can keep the hands forward, or for more challenge, bring them to the ears. But I want you to go from a rounded back to a flat back. Then scoop, round back, and then lengthen the top of the head, flat back. So it's this little scoop, belly button pushes back. Then there's this chest lifting and top of the head reaching away to the diagonal. Scoop and press that leaf fan back, and then lengthen. So don't think too much about arching and rounding the back as much as this lengthening and then this crunching of the abs. Lengthening, crunching. Let's just go for 5, 4, 3, 2, one more. Good job. Come on up. All right, go ahead and set the ball up to the side. We're going to come on all fours. We're going to take the hand weight and we're going to place it behind the left knee. So if you need extra padding for your knees, go ahead. We're going to slide that left weight right behind that left knee. And you're going to squeeze that heel in towards your bottom. Okay, we're just going to work on that glute and hamstring here. So we're going to take that leg all the way up and all the way down. All the way up and down. Try to resist that leg going up with your abs. Okay, I don't want you to feel like you're arching your back. I want you to feel your glute turn on. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, little pulses up, up, up. And I want you to go point, flex, point, flex. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down, all the way up. Keep the toe pointed. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, up, up. Here's a point, here's a flex. Point, flex. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come onto the forearms. Same thing, flex the foot this time. Bring it down, press it up. Down and up. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Here's your flex, point, flex, point. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. All the way down, all the way up. Keep that foot flexed. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last little pulses. Point, flex, point, flex. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Whew. I hope your butt burned with those. All right, move that weight off to the side. Left hand's gonna just pop out. You're gonna take that left leg behind you and kind of open the hips to the side of the room. So from here, we're just gonna take that left leg. We're gonna tap the floor behind you, tap the floor out to the side, making this little slight rainbow arch. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back, pick that leg up, tap the left elbow, send it back on the diagonal. Tap, diagonal. Here we go for 8, 7, good. Zip your belly in. 6, really try to stay centered, not leaning too far to the right. 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to keep that knee forward towards your elbow. Tap knee to knee, knee to elbow. Knee to knee, knee to elbow. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up here. Just little pulls forward for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Set it down. Come back up onto all fours. Maybe just wiggle the hips back and forth a little bit. And we're going to do the other side. So grab that weight. It's going to go in that right leg. Hopefully that you felt that kind of work in the back of the glute and then the outer hip, right? So we want to move that whole, get that whole glute there. All right. We got the weight in the right leg. Here we go, all the way up, all the way down. We're back up on our hands. Toes are pointed. There's 8, 7. Remember, we're cinching the core away from the floor to try to keep the back pretty still. There's 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up. Here's our little lifts with a point, flex, point, flex. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once again, take it all the way down, all the way up. Toes are pointed. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, point, flex, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on to the forearms, flex the foot, all the way down, all the way up. Down and up. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. If you gotta lose the weight, you can if you did that on the other side. Last one, hold it up. Here's your flex, point. Flex, you got one more round of these. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down, flex foot, all the way up. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold it up, little point, flex, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, good job. Take that weight out, set it to the side. Staying on that left forearm, we're gonna have the right arm pop out. Turn myself around. And you're gonna take that right leg back on that diagonal. And then here we're gonna go for that kick forward and that tap back. Tap it forward, tap it back. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap that right elbow and extend the leg back on the diagonal. Tap the elbow, extend it back. Here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm slightly angled out to the right. Here's 3, 2, 1. Hold it forward, knee to knee, knee to elbow. Knee to knee, knee to elbow. Here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, little pulses forward. 10, 9, this is it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Good job. Just take a moment. Take your hips back to your heels and just sit on your heels and walk your hands over to the right and just sit your weight over to the left. Take a deep breath here. Walk the hands all the way over to the left. Sit back to the right. Come back to your center, and let's just set those hands up, set yourself up into your plank, and send your hips back to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet here, just stretch out the back of the legs. Press the hands down and forward, and let your chest come back towards your thighs. Just pedaling back and forth through the heels. Take maybe one more round. Really working to tilt the sit bones up towards the ceiling, even if that means you gotta keep a little bend in the knees. Good. All right, go ahead and shift forward into your plank. So we're gonna just walk it forward here. We're gonna walk right foot forward, left foot forward, right foot back, left foot back. So we're just doing this little march. Doesn't have to be very far. We're going for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, good job, one more round. 1, now the left side's gonna go forward. Left first, then back. Left foot first, and back. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Good job. To look forward, drop your knees, pull your heels in. Here's our chaturanga push-ups. Elbows glide into the ribs, push back up to straight. Down as low as you can go with those shoulders keeping up away from the floor. We're going for 7. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna want that ball. So if you need your ball, grab it, because then we're gonna come all the way onto our bellies. All right, that ball is gonna go forward of that right arm. So I'm gonna press the palm down into that right side. Left arm can just be here by your chest or wherever is comfortable. You're gonna press down through the right hand and lift the left leg. Press the right hand and lift left leg. I'm gonna lift from the thigh. So really try to get the whole upper part of the leg off the floor. And then remember, I'm pressing down through the hand into the ball to just create this length in this opposition. Good. We'll go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the leg up, bend the knee, little lifts of the left leg as you press. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Switch it. Left hand gets the ball. Right leg's gonna do the lifting. Left hand presses, right leg lifts. 10, 9, 8, 7. I want you to feel your back muscles turning on. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, bend the heel in towards your butt, little lifts of the upper thigh. 10, 9, still press into the hand. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Both hands on the ball. Take it right in the center. And I just want you to press down as you curl the heart up. And then we're just gonna stay here, pressing into the tops of the feet. And I want you to feel like you're dragging the ball back towards you, but really you're just pressing your hands down, curling your chest up the wall. Just take maybe 1 or 2 more breaths. Can you feel muscles start to activate higher than your brow line? I want you to see if you can get the muscles in between the shoulder blades to fire up. 1 more breath. And release it down. Good job. Set the ball out to the side. Come on up. Child's pose. Take a little rounding here. Now we're going to grab from one of your hand weights. Just set it off to the side. And we're going to come onto the left forearm. and you're gonna step your right foot in front of your left, and we're gonna be in the side plank. So you're on your left forearm, left foot, but the right leg is in front like a little kickstand. And you're gonna grab for this weight, and we're gonna take it right out in front of you, and then we're just gonna take that arm up and down in parallel. Up and a parallel. If you get really tired, you gotta put that left hip down, you can. There's 8, 7, cinch that core in, press into the feet, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down to your hip, up to the ceiling. Down to the hip, up to the ceiling. The thumb's gonna point up as it goes to your hip. There's 6, 5, we got one more change after this. 4, try to keep those hips up. 3, 2, 1, bend that elbow, just that rotator. Palm comes in, palm goes up. That arm stays glued to your ribs. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Set it down. Just set that left hip down. And I want you to press into that forearm. And I want you to feel that stretch through the left side of your body. You can even bring this right foot in a little more if you want to hold on to it. It's kind of like the Burt Reynolds pose here. If you really feel like going crazy, you can bend that bottom leg and reach back for that foot and see if you can pull that in. And you can even let this right knee drop to the floor. But I want you to mostly feel that stretch from that left oblique. Okay, coming up and over to the other side. And we're on the right forearm. Left foot steps in front, right foot, you're on the outer edge of that foot. So watch that you're not like sickling the ankle and rounding. I want you to really push into the blade of the foot so that your ankle stays really long on both sides of that right foot. All right, grab that weight. Here we go, up and down. So we're just going up to the ceiling, shoulder height. Up to the ceiling, parallel to the floor. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down to the hips, thumb points to the ceiling, and up. Down and up. Yeah, we're getting perfect. Here we go. 8, 7. Push down into the feet. Lift the hips. 6, 5. Don't let yourself sag into that right shoulder. Here's 3. Really push into the forearm. 2, 1. Last round. Elbow in. Palm closes and opens. Here we go for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2. One more. Good job. Just rest your hip down. Okay, don't really go very far. You can slide your right forearm a little bit more forward if it feels good, but I want you to feel a little stretch through this right side as you kind of sink. So this one, it is okay to let your right shoulder kind of hike up towards your ear if it sinks and hammocks this right rib cage down towards the floor. Now you can stay here, you can bend the bottom leg, try to move the knee back and grab for the foot. You can even let this top leg come down, but wherever you're at, I want you to try to make sure that the focus is that right oblique there, that right side body. Maybe just take one more breath here. Good. All right. So I'm almost out of time. I want to get into just a couple more things and then we're going to move to the floor and we're done. All right, so back to that down dog position, okay? Down dog here. We're just going to take that right leg up and back. Inhale. Exhale, bring that right knee to the right elbow. Hold it. Take it down to the wrist. Hold it. Pick it back up to the elbow, to the wrist, to the elbow, to the wrist. Just for 3, 2, 1. Step it back, downward dog. Left side. Left leg goes up and back. Bring that knee to the elbow, tap your wrist, then the elbow. Take your time, wrist, elbow. Use your belly to pick yourself back up. Let's just go 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it back, down dog. All right, looking forward, we're gonna step the right foot to the pinky side of the hand, left foot to the pinky side of the hand, grab onto those hand weights, turn your toes just slightly out so you're in a little bit of a plie. Sit your butt back and lift yourself all the way up. We're gonna come all the way up to standing. You're gonna punch those arms up to the ceiling. Then we're gonna plie all the way down and try to touch the floor with the weights. Maybe they don't go all the way down. Maybe you just come pretty low. I just want you to feel those inner thighs and those legs get challenged. All the way down, all the way up. There's 8, try to keep those shoulders up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plie down, get that like wide leg squat. Then from here, we're just taking those arms out to a T. I'm sorry, arms out to a T. And then from here, we're just gonna close and open. Close and open. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last set, palms go out and face up. Same thing, moving the arms wide and in. Here's 10, 9, 8, get a little lower, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the hand weights down. Last thing you got here, we're coming to the floor. You're gonna jump your feet in together parallel. Jump your feet wide to that external. Yep, in, out. Here we go for 10, 9, 8, stay low, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Good job. Go ahead and just squat it all the way down. Good work, guys. Okay, so if you gotta go, I understand we're already past our 45 minutes, but I wanna do a little release for the low back. So you're gonna take this green ball, okay? So we're gonna find the top of the pelvis, which is usually a little higher than you think. So if my hip bone is here, the top of my pelvis is actually a little bit higher in the back, okay? So I'm gonna take that ball right above the top of my pelvis and just to the left of my spine, really close, okay? So we're gonna lie down on our backs, try to find that position here. So if you feel, again, any like nerve pain, move the ball up, down, left, right. You don't wanna be on anything that's like sharp, zinging, shooting pain. But you should feel like you're just to the left of your spine, just above the pelvic crest. And then that ball's gonna kind of feel like it's hitting some tough resistance there that should feel like soft tissue, okay? I don't want it to feel like bone. And then if it feels okay, you're gonna bring that left knee into your chest. So I wanna release your low back and your front quadricep, okay? Those are gonna be the 2 things we're gonna do now for this last few minutes. So hopefully these 2 things together can kind of put a little bit of slack and loosen up the pelvis so that you can have a little bit more freedom to let your spine naturally stack on the pelvis with a little bit of movement in the hips without that rigidity that kind of can happen in the low back and the upper quads. Take maybe just 2 more big breaths here. Really let the ball sink in. Try to relax. Okay, put that left foot down, and we're just gonna take that ball out and do the same thing on the right. Okay, so just pause in between the two and notice, like I feel like a significant amount of my low back is resting on the floor on the left side in comparison to the right. So just noticing that total change or even that actual physical change. Okay, we're gonna move it to the right. You're just above the pelvis. So again, if you're feeling like you're hitting a hard stop as you bring the knee in, that might mean that you're on your actual pelvic bowl. So just move it up a little bit, just to the right of my spine. So I'm not on the bones, I'm just to the right, kind of hitting that strap that runs along the side of my spine. Then I'm gonna bring the knee into the chest and just take some deep breaths here. So again, if you feel like you're compressing bone, then just maybe move it a little bit up or a little bit to the right. And if you feel like there's anything that's sharp shooting or singing, again, move off of that. Or if it feels like it's just soft tissue that you're kind of getting resistance from, then just feel like you want to drop in and try to take deep breaths and just focus on doing that body scan that tells the body to relax, right? There's going to be tension that tries to pop up somewhere to help out with this nervous system. Just let your body know it's okay to relax here. And the way we can do that is really to take these nice deep breaths. Last big inhale and exhale. Good, put that foot down. Take the ball out. All right, we're gonna roll over and come onto our hands and knees. We'll go on the right leg first. Always take your time and move slow after this work, okay? This is gonna be the center quad, so it's our last thing, and then we're out of here. So it's right down the center of the thigh, and I'm gonna be on the right leg first. I'm gonna have it above my knee. So if you have a hard time getting your thigh on the ball, you can always put a block under the ball to just kind of get it a little higher. Now I'm gonna come on my forearms, and I'm gonna take my left knee and just kind of cock it out to the side. Now, again, this is not accessible to you. You can always put the ball on block and stay up on that left knee. But otherwise, we're gonna try to see if we can just tuck the toes under and maybe roll that ball right up the center of the quad. If that's way too intense, then just let the knee rest. And then you can kind of adjust how much pressure goes onto the ball. So you have the choice to have the knee lifted and be moving. Again, we're kind of staying right in the center of the thigh from hip to knee and from left to right. And then if you feel like there's a spot where you could rest your knee down and maybe you want to try to bring your heel in towards your glute, you're going to keep that consistent pressure on the ball. So between those low back muscles and this rectus femoris, these two really juggle a lot of how the pelvis is tilted. So again, we're kind of releasing them from both directions here. Last kick if you're doing the kicks. If there's any other spots, like if you want to move yourself back so that that ball can go to the upper half of that thigh, you can go for that. But I don't want to be here too long. So maybe just find a place that you want to maybe take one or two more little kicks if you're doing that. Good, and then we'll go to the other side. Push yourself up out of those forearms and knees. All right, left leg. So again, I'm gonna be above my knee. I'm gonna bring my right knee forward. Left knee is gonna stay on the floor. And I'm gonna take that ball right onto that bottom part of the quad there. Now for me, I can tuck my toes and I can move my body up and down so that I can make the ball go up and down the thigh. That might be way too intense. And if it's too intense, maybe just rest the knee on the floor and push down into the forearms and the right leg to alleviate some of that body weight and pressure. If it feels good and you want to stay there, you can move, or you can start to maybe even bend and straighten the leg. You can always try to find another spot, maybe going towards the middle or the upper part of the thigh. And again, I just tuck my toes under to elevate the knee and move that ball up and down, but that can be really intense. So if it's way too much, just find a place that you can rest and take deep breaths. So we're in that final spot. You want to find something a little higher up on the thigh. You can always let the knee rest. You can bend and straighten. Or you can just stay still. Just 2 more breaths and then you're out. Good. Slowly bring your right knee in, push down those forearms, and come up. And you're all done. Good job.